First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, double honor to the elders, great millstone, and salutation to all you sincere Akim on the highways and byways bidding to marriage. You know, I want to get into. I'm going to start off with a title that says white people are kneeling to beg for forgiveness for slavery is not the way to end police violence in America. And you got some side white supremacists, terrorism, Black Lives Matter. Esau, the scriptures tell you, Esau will complain of an ungodly father, and Esau thinks that, I'm not going to get into the article, but Esau thinks that, that this will end kneeling on the ground, Esau thinks doing this, holding a sign or anything is going to save him, I'm going to title the video, you reap what you sow, and what did Esau sow? Wickedness, destruction, war and mayhem throughout history, and, till today, we talk about slavery, but slavery wasn't the only thing Esau ever done, yeah, it's recording, Esau, he chops down trees the Lord said not to, he kills animals, I was, a couple of months back, I would say a couple of years back, there was animals going extinct, right? There was two, the white rhinos, in Africa, they were going extinct from hunting, right? Right when there's one left, Esau thought of breeding them to bring back the species. So Esau's wicked, Esau will cause a problem, right? Then he try to make a solution out of it. But you're not the Most High. If the Lord wanted you to be like Him, He would have gave you the tools. Esau just keeps doing wrong. That's why he's gonna have to suffer. And I want to not only get that. I want to get this, and the scriptures tell you about an eye for an eye, in the book of Exodus, but I want to get into the definition of what it means, eye for an eye, or the law of retaliation is the principle that a person who has injured another person is to be penalized to a similar degree, and a person inflicting such punishment should be the injured party. So it's coming to you, Esau is a balance, Esau, everybody, you got Martin Luther King Jakes out there, but that's not what the Lord wants, If the Lord, the Lord isn't, that's not right, You turning a blind eye and the left cheek for a man who wouldn't do the same for you if you were to do that to him. Because Esau, he has the spirit of Cain. And what was Cain's blessing? Is if any man slayeth Cain, I think 7 foes shall be taken upon them. So that means if you kill one of Cain's descendants, he'll come back even harder. So there's no way of getting out of it. Esau will never, because that spirit that was on Cain is on Esau. So if you kill one of his, he will come back and try to kill you. So that left cheek nonsense, he wouldn't do it for you, and it's not in him to do it. He's not. Esau's mad. That birthright. And all that hate that he had from Cain. Cain had for Abel. That deception. But so this has to happen. All that hell that we went through, slavery. Esau hanging people. Raping our women. I remember I was reading this this history thing on Google. It said Esau used to throw baseballs at baby stomachs at the carnival to see if their stomachs will burst out with milk from their mother's breast milk. But Esau, he's a demon. Hold up, I need to see how long the video is. Alright. For a minute. So I already got that on eye for an eye. But yeah, I'm gonna read this, then I'm gonna get into this video I found from one of the brothers' pages. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You know, didn't Esau lead us into captivity? Not only him, the other nations, Moab, Ishmael, Elam, you know, Ham, Tyre, and Zidon. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. You know, didn't he kill with the sword? You know, he lives by the sword. You know, he doesn't just kill with it; he lives by it. You know. The scripture, the Lord told Peter, "Put your sword away. Those who live by the sword shall perish with the sword." You know. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. You know. Esau's not only gonna get killed with the sword, but he's gonna perish with it. Why? Because he lives by it. It's his blessing. You know, that goes hand in, you know, when the Lord said that, when he told Peter to put his sword away, it wasn't, you know, that was, you know, the scripture tells us everything's written as for our learning. You could use that scripture, and you could talk about Esau with that one, because that's Esau. He lives by the sword, and he never put he to this very day Esau still didn't put his sword away. You know, he's still around these countries in the Middle East, you know, trying to take oil, trying to sanction people, trying to bully smaller nations. Esau's a coward. Esau's not trying that with China. Esau's not trying that with Russia. You know, Esau knows he's gonna get bodied. You know, so he's gonna pick on the little one, the little people. You know, the little. You know, Esau's a coward. He's not a fair man. You know, he doesn't do fair ones. You know. Hear the patient in the faith of the saints. You know, because we've been hoping and praying, Lord's willing, we be one of them saints, be found worthy. You know, but I want to get this TV series. Right. That's this new series coming out. Esau knows what's coming to him. You know, you got Esau knows slavery's coming his way. You know, he that leads in captivity shall go into captivity. You know, this is coming to Esau, and he knows it.
Step out. Take that shit off your head, monkey.
Show that black monkey who the fuck you are.
Fucking Mother Earth. They shark in my nut. And if she bleeds gold, they should crown me King Tut. Nat King Cole, King Solomon needs nuts. Trisha fucking oil, you get rich when I'm up. Fucking whatever. I'm starting to get dizzy. I made that bitch word and created the Mississippi River. My nigga took a trip to nigga.
What you looking at, cracker?
Nigga, what you name? What you speak? Told me about the teachers and niggas and Negroes. Told me about a place where all niggas are free. I'm going to. Where I come from, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. And you are cracker. Welcome back. Be cool. I'm going to.
So that's Esau. You know, I don't know how he, you know, how the movie plays out, or if he's going back in time, or in a different universe or whatever. But Esau knows that he's gonna go into slavery, and everything he did to us is gonna be done unto him. But it's not gonna be the same measurement. You know, the Lord said, "Do unto them, reward her, even as she rewarded you." How did America rewarded us? With pain and suffering. And who was in control of that? Esau, you know. So do double unto her as she had done unto us, you know. So America's gonna get, you know, destroyed. You know, Esau's gonna suffer, you know. But the scriptures tell us, right? 2 Thessalonians 1:6, seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. You know, some Jake are Christians, you know. Grew up Christians, you know, probably listen to Martin Luther King, probably in their 80s by now, right? But yet, you know, they always say hate, you know, don't have hate in your heart. I knew somebody like that in my family. I always said you can't have hate, you know, but the scriptures tell you, you know, and that's that Martin Luther King spirit, you know. Esau, I mean not Esau, when he made that speech that he had a dream, he he deceived a lot of Jake. You know, he deceived a whole. I would think a whole generation, most of the whole generation. You know, they always put him in the school systems and stuff. You know, why you think they don't put Malcolm X? You know, because Esau wants a obedient slave. You know, he wants Jake to listen like they once did. Jake ain't having it. Jake ain't having it. You know, no one wants to listen. You know, no one listens to you. No one respects you, and no one cares. You know, it shows you day by day that his rulership is falling apart. You know, you got Esau, Edomite men talking about they hate their women, they're annoying. You got Edomite women not flocking to Jake. You got Esau fighting Esau. Like what's that? Oh man, I thought I had the picture with Esau kneeling for Black Lives Matter. You got Esau fighting against Esau. Esau walking with the Black Lives Matter movement. You got some hating. Got Edomites hating it. Esau showing his horns, somehow hiding it. Esau feels good about himself after he goes to these marches. Like, you're not doing nothing. What change has been done? Nothing. You know. Esau's gonna have to. He's gonna have to pay with his blood. You know. The scriptures tell us, and eye for an eye. But Revelation 18:6-8. Reward her, and as she rewarded you, double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she has filled to her double. So it tells you, fill to her double, according to her works. So everything she has done, you gotta do unto her double. You know, Esau's gonna have to suffer for a lot for what he did. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she has said in her heart, I said a queen, I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So all these prideful Edomites thinking their country can't be brought down, it's gonna be brought down. No, the Lord's gonna come back with the chariot. Yahweh Shemel Shai. It's gonna come back. The elect. The elect are gonna be chosen. The Leviathan's gonna be out of the sea. The behemoth. The chariots, the angel. Everybody is coming. Because the whole world is gonna be is gonna try to be unified, trying to fight against the Lord. What do you think that movie's been about? What's that movie called? It had Will Smith in it. I forgot. It's the alien movie with the chariots coming down. But yeah, Esau's not gonna give up his power structure, his power. So he's gonna have to be taken out of power. I'm gonna go to 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. She shall utterly be burned with fire, for strong is the Lord, Yahweh, who judgeth her. So the Lord is coming back, and He's gonna make Esau suffer for everything he did, every idle word. What did the Lord say? You're gonna have to account for every idle word you ever spoken. Esau thinking making the Lord a white man, and making him all feminine in these movies he's gonna get away with. You're not, you're disrespecting him. You make every character close to what the scriptures tell them, but you change the Lord all completely. To the characteristics, to the hair, to the skin tone. Like, you disrespect the Lord on a scale, the Lord is gonna have to suffer. You're gonna have to suffer for that. He's all stretching out his hand saying, Peter, and the Lord doesn't speak like that. You're disrespecting him. What if someone bring a bad representation of you? Esau talk about his color doesn't matter, his characteristics, but yet if I were to say what you look like and I got it completely wrong, you wouldn't get offended by that? Come on now. So Esau's full of it. The only time it matters about his color is when he's white, but when it comes to any, no, we don't. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? It's all about the message. You're all right. His message was that you're gonna, he hates you. The message was Jacob he loved, Esau he hated. How you like that message? How about you read that? You got Esau talking about it's all about the message, but all right, then you accept the message that the Lord gave to you. Accept that you're going into slavery. You know. Everything Esau ever said. He's a god. Esau really, Edomites really believe that. That like they cloning. DNA splicing. They don't have to say it, but they're showing it through their works and what they try to do on Earth daily. They think they're the Most High. Splicing. They clone the sheep. Hold up. Hold up. There's a. Oh man. I thought they still had yeah, this is the one. And this is how you prove America's Babylon. There's another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next two presenters have done for fake news what the Fox News Channel has done for fake news. Please welcome Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
What are you doing?
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast.
You can't just read the prompter?
I'm reading the prompter in here. You can read that pablum.
Award show banter is not pablum. Reality television celebrates the human condition. By illuminating what's extraordinary in the ordinary person.
It warps the minds of our children and weakens the resolve of our allies.
You got Esau telling the truth. Esau is throwing it out there. And you got people brainwashed by it. And he also says that, and I'm gonna get into it more.
The results are often dramatic and always unexpected. We're here to honor achievement in that category.
By giving you a golden idol to worship. Kneel before your God, Babylon!
This is about.
It's the devil. That's a devil. And and that they don't really know that he's being serious. This is actually that's Babylon. We're in actually Babylon. America is Babylon. And he's confessed, trying to tell people to worship. He's a devil. And he's a satanic person. He's wicked. That verse to the Most High in every way. Everything he's saying.
The Manilow thing.
I lost to Barry Manilow! Barry Manilow! I lost to the Copacabana! Singing and dancing is not performing! Wolverine I could have lost to, he's got close hands! Can I hold one of yours?
No. The nominees are.
You know, Esau is gonna go down. You know, for his wickedness. Galatians 6 and 7 and 9. Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You know? And what did, we can go into the story of Cain and Abel and what the Lord told Cain. Why are thou countenance wroth? Because, if you can go into the story, but I don't want to get off sidetracked, So I'm just going to try to break it down the best I can. Basically, Cain brought up a fruit of the offering to the Lord, and Abel brought up his firstlings of his flock. The Lord wasn't pleased with Cain, and and Cain was mad. He said, "Why art thou countenance wroth?" The Lord said to him, "If thou doest well, wilt thou not be accepted? Sin lieth at the door. Over to him it shall be his desire, but thou shalt rule over him." Try to tell Cain, turn away from your wickedness. Basically, you gotta overcome it. You can't let it get to you. But you know what he did? He slew Abel. He spoke to Abel. In process of time, he slew him. He said, "Where is thy brother Abel? I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? No. If thou doest well, wilt thou not be accepted? Sin lieth at the door." Well, that's what he said. Basically saying what this is about to say. For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. Right? And what did the Lord tell Cain? What did the Lord tell Cain? If thou doest well, will thou not be accepted? If you doest not well, thou shalt sin lieth at the door. So it was straightforward. It was black and white. There was no gray area. There was no hot. There was no warm. It was hot or cold. If you do good, you something good will come of it. If you do bad, you're gonna get something bad out of it. It's common. It was common sense. You know, but he didn't listen. His flesh he shall reap of corruption, and that's what he got. Corruption. That's Esau. Didn't he reap of corruption? But he that sows to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. Ain't that the elect? The 144,000? Aren't they then they reap to the spirit. Cain not Cain, not to get into Cain, but Esau. Didn't Esau sow to the flesh, right? Reap corruption. Esau is a carnal man. He's not spiritual whatsoever. He can't fathom chariots. He can't. The first thing he'll do is shoot it. It can be a message of good and I don't know good works. Something good. Esau will just bug out and start shooting at it. You know. Every movie you see, they don't. If Esau doesn't understand it, he'll try to kill it. That's what kind of mentality is that? You're gonna kill everything you see that you don't know. You know, there's a saying in a movie. Every movie I ever watched, it always says, "Man is afraid of things they don't understand or can't understand." Yeah, mankind, man, which is Esau. Esau doesn't understand it, so he's gonna try to. He's afraid of it. Esau. The Lord didn't give him wisdom, impute wisdom in him. Esau doesn't have wisdom. You know, he's a fool. He lives by the sword, and he deceives people. And you could think about it like this: what were the first two crimes Cain ever done? First, he killed Abel, and second, he lied to the Lord. So those right there tells you what are the attributes of Esau right now: the sword and deception. Esau portrays himself in a good light, and he kills daily everything and everyone. Destruction and mayhem follows wherever he goes. Death and destruction, hell and death follow. That red horse, that power was given unto him a great sword. Going talking about Esau. And go. I'm gonna go to 9. Let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. We gotta keep tarrying in His truth. But I want to get into that more. Esau, bro, it's done. It's over, man. Like, you got Esau on the comment board of that new TV series that's coming out called Cracker. Esau talking about, are we supposed to forget about slavery? Not we can't. We're encouraging slavery. What was the movie gonna be about? Rape and murder? Hey, bro, you shut up, man. You've been doing it, man. You've been, you raped our women. You destroyed. You destroyed. You killed our sons, our cousins. You killed our aunt, brother, uncles, fathers, and all this. Everything killed children. Esau want to talk about. Why are we bringing this up to slavery? We're already in climax of race riots. Who cares, man? I'm tired of being here. Everybody's tired of being in the Babylon. You want to be here because this is your kingdom. And Esau, man, he's a coward, man. You're gonna give Jake hell, but when we give Jake hell, not Salaki, but when we get him hell, it's all of a sudden bad. This isn't right. We can't do this. It's like, shut up, Esau. Just shut up. Just be quiet. You and them coons who defend you are gonna be destroyed. I'm tired of them. And you. Wait, let me see how many minutes I have before I don't want to delete. All right. But yeah, Esau problem. He doesn't believe that anything's gonna happen to him. Like everything, that nothing's gonna happen to him. That he's gonna live on forever. All these sci-fi movies of flying cars, people with robotic arms. He thinks he's gonna live that long. Like the scriptures tell you. Yeah, inward thought, inward thought. Oh wait, no. But come on, go back. Why isn't it going back? All right. All right. Psalms 49 and 11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their land after their own name. Washington. What do you call it? Africa, Africanus. You got America Rasputius. I looked that up too. That's the Edomite too. All these street names, Charles Street, some other street. Uh, you know, um, America is an Edomite's name. Africa, Asia. So you got a lot of Edomites naming their lands after their own names. They take pride in it. Esau thinks that he's gonna live forever. Esau is delusional. He thinks what he's trying to do right now is trying to merge his consciousness with machine so he can be a god, and Esau wants to live forever, and it's not for you. That's not what the Lord intended. He's trying to win his birthright back in a way that, birthright 2.0, a copy version, a replica, that's what Esau's trying to do, trying to replicate his birthright. You can't do it. You can't do that. The Lord, man, if the Lord specifically gave someone something, you can't copy. You just won't. It's just not gonna happen the way you want it. If the Lord wants you to have something, He's gonna let you have it. And Esau, he wants the same spiritual powers that the Lord had. And it tells you what the Lord did. He healed people's arms. Their limbs. Some were paralyzed, and what did He do? He helped them paralyze. Esau thinks making a biometric skeleton spinal cord is the same as healing somebody that had the same illness, or making someone with a half an arm, giving them a robotic arm is gonna give them their ability to move again. Esau is trying to be like the Most High, trying to be. Because Esau can't fully heal somebody's arm. You know, he can't fully turn. He can't turn water into wine. You know, he can't. He's not. You know, he's try to be like the Most High, but he shall fall down in the pit. They that shall see thee shall ne'er look upon thee. You know, that's the problem. Esau, he doesn't know when to quit. Esau, Esau's his time is up. You know, and the Lord is coming back. And Esau wants to thinking that nothing's gonna happen to him. You know, you're gonna have to reap what he's sown. For generations he did this. You know, not only in you know, these other nations thinking they're good. They think they're gonna switch sides. You know, you know, no, bro. These other nations ain't gonna switch sides. The Lord's gonna forget, cause yeah, you know how sometimes in some of these movies, the you got the bully. You got the bully, and he has this group of friends with him bullying this little kid, but yet the kid has the courage to beat up the bully. Then his little posse or his gang, his friends run off somewhere, all scattering in a bunch of other directions. You know, Esau thinks no, not Esau, but these other nations think they're gonna get away. No, no, the Lord didn't forget about you either. You know, like, nah, man. There's a you guys had as much of an opportunity to tell Jake who they were also. You know, you think you know they all Confederate. You know, Obadiah tells you that all the heathens. You know, they confounded Jake. You know, they didn't want to tell Jake their nationality. Everybody knows theirs but Jake. They were in legal Esau, so they're gonna have to pay with Esau. You know. So I don't think you're gonna go unnoticed either. Moab, Ishmael, Ham, you know, you're gonna suffer too. You know, and rightfully so. You deserve it. You know, thinking you're untouchable. And all these and Esau's structures falling apart. You know, it shows you daily that Esau is going down. You know, uh, the EMP with China. You know, there's still news on that. There's still news on that. They're still talking about that. Hold on, where is it? But before I get into that, I want to read not read, but also what else they're doing. Look at these statues. People are pulling them down. Everybody's taking these statues down. All these racist statues that signify slavery and all. You know, you got some Edomites in the mix. You can see this Edomite blurred in the blurred over here on the side. You know, you got Esau. You see, you're gonna have a lot of fighting between Edomites in the kingdom. You know, mainly it's gonna be directed toward the father of the Edomites, Esau, because he sold his birthright. But yeah, there's tearing down statues and all this. But yeah, you got China military provokes its neighbors, but the message for the United States. These nations are tired of Esau. You know, no one respects him. These sanctions that I would put on Iran, like the video I made a couple of weeks ago, I think a week ago, that they ain't listening to the sanctions. No one's listening to Esau. We got Moab making EMPs. You know. A military parade in celebration of the 7th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China held in Tiananmen Square in Beijing last year. In the same week that Chinese and Indian soldiers engaged in deadly brawl, one of the China's submarine through the waters near Japan, prompting a scramble of aircraft and ships to track its further movements. Chinese fighter jets and at least one bomber buzzed Taiwan's territorial airspace almost daily. With the world distracted by the coronavirus pandemic. See that? Look at that. This is an excuse to go to war. That pandemic, the coronavirus, you know, they don't know. They don't want you to know what's going on behind the scenes. That there's a war brewing about. You know, has encroached upon its neighbor territories on several fronts throughout the spring and now into summer, flexing its military might in ways that have raised alarms across Asia and in Washington. China's military assertiveness reflects a growing sense of confidence and capability, but also one of the confrontational, particularly with the United States over the pandemic, the fate of Hong Kong, and other issues that China considers central to its sovereignty and national pride. China claimed all of its recent operations are defensive, but each increases the risk of a military clash. Whether intended or not, that appears to be what happened on the night of June 15th when Chinese and Indian soldiers fought along their disputed border in Himalayas. It's the bloodiest clash on that frontier since 1967. According to Chinese analysts, Indian news report, and American intelligence reports, it also and caused an undisclosed number of Chinese deaths. The country's first in combat since its war with Vietnam. In 1979, I think the possibility of an accidental shot being fired is rising. Wu Shikun, president of National Institute for South China Sea, said at a conference in Beijing this week, unveiling a report on American military activity in the region. China has a long acted forcefully to defend country's territorial interests, but is now operating with greater military firepower than ever before. Its power is growing at a much greater rate than the other regional powers, said Adam Ni, director of the China Policy Center, a research organization in Canberra, Australia. This has really given Beijing more tools at its disposal to push its more assertive and aggressive agenda. So they clash, India and China. Cause China's getting aggressive, and these other nations right now, don't know so don't know what to do about it. Even if it was intentional or not, they said that it still was gonna happen because there's a lot of tension going around across the world, but in its art, and the title of the article, it said it wasn't for these other nations, it was for America to see, so these other nations are reacting, uh, in a sense of insecurity, you know. And China is a big country, nation too, Steadily, he steadily purged the military top ranks of corrupt for insufficiently loyal officers, shifted the focus of People's Liberation Army from heavy ground battle to more agile joint operations, using air and naval and increasingly cyber weapons. Mr. Xi has also made the military an even greater priority in the wake of pandemic. China's Premier Li, I'm gonna just say Li, announced last month that the military budget would rise 6.6% this year to nearly 180 billion, about a quarter of the American defense budget, even as overall government spending was set to decline because of the global economic slowdown. At the National People's Congress, Mr. Xi noted the role the military played in Wuhan, where the outbreak began in China, and warned that the pandemic posed challenges to national security. The country, he said, should step up preparation for military struggles, flexibly carry out actual military training, and comprehensively improve our military ability to carry out military missions. Alright, this is what I want to get at, the comparison between China and America. China military is widely thought to remain far behind American armed forces. Alright, I just want to see, because, oh man. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna stop real soon at 46 minutes before it cancels itself out. But, can it go down anymore? Alright, go back to where I was. So these look, people, China military is widely thought to remain. People thought China would be behind America forever, far behind, but they catched up. It said, but it has caught up in some areas, including expansion of its naval power, deployment anti-ship and anti-craft missile. By the end of last year, China was believed to have at least 335 warships, more than the United States, which has 285, according to the last report last month by Congressman research. Salaki. By last month by the Congressional Research Service in Washington. The report said China now posed a major challenge to the U.S. Navy's ability to achieve and maintain wartime control of blue water ocean areas in the western Pacific, the first such challenge the U.S. Navy has faced since the end of the Cold War. So imagine he's the Cold War, so that's so they're comparing it to an old war that they had back then. So now there's gonna be another war come in World War III. And the scriptures tell you what about these smaller nations. They said they wouldn't wouldn't believe it. They always thought that China would be far behind American armed forces. They said, but the scriptures tell you this. Forget. I didn't forget. Eat your plowshares into pruning hooks and your shovels and swords, and let the weak say I'm strong. All right, this is the one. I'm gonna try to stop at one more scripture. Joel 2:3-10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, "I am strong." So no one's having it. India is a small nation. India is a small nation. They don't have a big military, but yet they still fought against China. So everybody's on edge. Everybody's they said people actually died during that conflict between China and India, and that was recent. I think that article was on. I think it was today or a couple of days ago. So you thinking that we're not in any perilous times, but we're coming into some times. I would think we're at the start of the Jacob's trouble since everything is heating up. You know, but these other nations aren't having it. In America, Esau still America is in trouble now because America got to worry about the coronavirus. You got some of the American people over there. You got there's race riots within America. Now they got to worry about World War III. There's like America is just in all it's going everything in every direction. America's in trouble in every direction. It's already you know. So you gotta be always we gotta be watching out for everything. There's just military vehicles already in and around the streets in the neighborhoods. You still got the armed forces with guns and stuff. But we just gotta keep the faith, keep tarrying. We're almost there. The Lord is almost back. Lord's willing, the Lord have mercy on us. Lord's willing. Because you never know. You could be saved or be destroyed. None of us are exempt from the tribulation that's coming. But I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and double honors to Elder Great Millstone, and salutations to all Yakim on the highways and byways. Till next time I say Shalom, we're almost home. Keep tarrying. Till next time.